How to win in life? Quit. If you want to do something big in life and achieve the seemingly impossible, quit. Quit giving yourself excuses. Quit feeling sorry for yourself. Quit the distractions that plague your daily life. Quit everything else apart from the one dream you'd see turn into reality. Because at the core of every successful entrepreneur, athlete, or artist, or anyone who has become the best at what they do, there are three things: clarity, focus, and discipline. Clarity of the destination they want to reach and which paths to take, focus on how to navigate through the set paths, and the discipline to keep moving regardless of how one is feeling at any given moment. At some point in life, anyone who has made it came to the realization that to get the one thing they wanted the most, they had to quit everything else. If you study the life of some of the most popular athletes in the world, in any sport, you'll discover that most of them had to overcome enormous obstacles in their path to reach where they did. And to overcome those obstacles, they had to choose the path of extreme determination, where there was little to no room for deviation. Michael Jordan, who is arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, was once dropped from his varsity team because he wasn't considered good enough or tall enough. Muhammad Ali had to overcome his dyslexia, discrimination, and even government conspiracies to keep him in jail to become the heavyweight boxer at that time. I could keep going on and give you more examples, but you can read about them later. The point of me making this video is to tell you that you can accomplish great things in life if you just put your mind into it. Even though you might not be the next Michael Jordan or Muhammad Ali, you can have a successful business or a career or a life that you love if you set your distractions aside and focus. And I know that's easier said than done, but I also know that it's doable. So in this video, I'm going to give you some advice on how to stay on the path to get whatever it is that you want from your life. Starting with number 1, find out your virtues and vices. In other words, your positives and negatives in terms of habits and character traits. And once you've determined your positive and negative traits, slowly cut down on the negatives by rewarding yourself for doing more of the positives. This is what we call positive reinforcement. So do this. Take a piece of paper, draw a line in between, and list down all your positives and negatives. Or just do it mentally like an adult would do. For example, you like working out. That's a positive habit. But you also like to smoke and drink occasionally, which you consider as a negative and would like to eliminate. So if you want to cut down on smoking and drinking or eliminate them completely, reinforce positive habits by rewarding yourself. Let's say you go to the gym 3 times a week, but want to increase the frequency to 5 days a week. Then put everything you got into going to the gym 5 days a week consistently for a month. And when you've accomplished that, reward yourself by maybe buying yourself a good protein supplement you wanted to try out, or getting some new gym clothes, or getting a subscription to a meal plan to help you hit your daily macros. By investing into things that improve your health and your general well-being, you'd not only feel better about yourself, but you'd also be left with less money for spending on booze and cigarettes. This is a good way to cultivate good habits in my book. Number 2, get your priorities straight. This one will require you to have a good, honest conversation with yourself and with people around you, because not everybody is going to like what they're going to hear. Some of your friends and family will react negatively when you say you can't spend time with them anymore like you used to. Some of them will even say that you've changed. You're not the same person anymore. But here's the thing. Everybody changes, and everybody has to in order to survive. Heck, you might even feel extremely uncomfortable with the thought of giving up the things that you love doing. Video games, watching movies, partying out with your friends every weekend, binge drinking, and so on. But guess what? These are the necessary sacrifices that you have to make to reach where you want to go. When you eliminate all your distractions, all that you're left with is yourself and the road ahead. Make no mistake about it. There will be temptations to deviate from the path and fall back to the old patterns and comfort zones. But your ability to handle those temptations will determine how far you go. Remember, success is not guaranteed, and the best you can do is give everything you got to reach your destination. Number 3, find out your why. Finding out the reason behind what you're doing or what you want to do is non-negotiable. And it's going to save you a lot of wasted time and frustration when later down the line you realize what you got was not what you wanted. If you have big dreams and you're working tirelessly to achieve them, ask yourself, why do you have those dreams in the first place? Do you want to make yourself proud? Do you want to make someone else proud? Is it for the money, or do you want to leave a legacy? And whatever the answer you get, be honest with yourself and accept it. If you're doing it for the money, accept it, because money is a driver for a lot of things that we do. There is nothing wrong with that. Me personally, I got into business for two reasons. A, I wanted to make money, and B, I wanted more autonomy over my time. Yeah, those are cliches, but those are also true in my case. I value having freedom above all else. And I don't really give a shit about creating a legacy or anything. You can throw me in a ditch after I die for all I care.
When I'm dead, just throw me in the trash.
But for as long as I live, I want to live on my own terms. I want to travel with my friends, experience new cultures, taste different kind of food, and die with a lot of fond memories. These are extremely basic materialistic desires, and I own them. They're my desires. And I don't need someone to validate them before I feel good about myself. Look, what I'm saying is, when your struggles and goals are aligned to a purpose, you gain clarity and understanding of what you want to do and why you want to do it. Without a solid purpose or reason behind doing something, you're pretty likely to give up sooner when things get tough, or just lead a disappointing life where your work becomes a means to an end. Before I end this video, I want to share a little personal story about myself in this context. When I was growing up, for the longest time, I felt like studies were so pointless and such a waste of time. And unsurprisingly, that led me to not studying hard enough and ending up with not so good grades. Sometimes I thought studying was a waste of time, and at other times, I thought maybe there was something wrong with me. No matter how much I tried, I just couldn't muster up enough interest to focus on my subjects. And I somehow managed to graduate as an average student with not much to show in terms of career prospects. So I did what many people would do in a situation like this. To postpone my transition into the real world, aka getting a job, aka becoming a functioning member of the society, I signed up for higher education. But to absolutely no one's surprise, I lost interest again. And finally, after a lot of self-convincing, I quit my education for a job. My first job was in the position of a junior content and copywriter at a local company. And it was then, for the first time in my life, it felt like my life had a purpose. Yes, at a job in a role that I had no experience in and was completely unrelated to my formal education. But for the first time ever, I felt like my actions have consequences and I should probably care about them. That job paid very little, but at that time, it felt like I could finally do all the things I wanted to do with that money. So I did. I traveled with my friends for the first time with the money I saved up. I bought a used PlayStation 3 and played all the games I missed out on because I was a PC guy, and generally lived a better life than how I was being broke. After a few months into that job, I discovered that I really didn't want to work a 9 to 5. All I wanted were all the good things that come with having money. So I quit my job. And to make that happen, I didn't follow through with my first impulse by signing up to be a criminal. What I did was, I quit my job and started freelancing, which one day led to me and my friend starting our own business called Writer Shark. So from 2015 to 2020, I led a pretty good life. Since traveling was at the top of my priority list, I spent my time traveling as much as I could because I wasn't tied down by a 9 to 5. The main reason people struggle financially is because they've spent years in school but learned nothing about money. The result is that people learn to work for money but never learn how to have money work for them. Did you recognize a pattern in the events that I told you about? Of course you did. I made it very obvious. For me to reach where I wanted to go, that is to have more money and time to do what I wanted to do, that is have more control over my time and travel, I had to quit my formal education to get a job. Then I had to quit my job to get into freelancing. And then I had to quit freelancing to start a business. And then again, against conventional wisdom and rational thinking, I had to quit living in a constant state of anxiety regarding different business matters before I finally got to relax and get my peace of mind. So before you go ahead and make a full analysis of what's missing from your life, it might be worthwhile to think about what you need to eliminate to reach where you want to go. Sometimes quitting something is far easier than adding something else in your life. Another task, another habit, or another routine that you'll find extremely hard to stick to. Your priorities are going to change as you move through life. So will your wants, needs, values, and principles. What you enjoy today might feel like a waste of time tomorrow. So keep that in mind and be flexible in your regular affairs. Life would be very boring if we always stayed the same. However, I should also give you a fair bit of warning. Life is not linear. Life is unpredictable. Meaning, you'll rarely go from point A to point B directly just because you intend to and have a plan in place. Sometimes, you need to go around the C's and the D's and the Y's and the Z's and everything in between to reach point B, which was your intended destination. From the time I quit my formal education till the time I felt secure enough to run a business, a lot of things happened that put doubts in my head and made me question my entire line of thought. You should expect this to happen to you as well. And the best way to deal with uncertainty and insecurity is to just jump in and tackle it head on. Just like I pushed through my doubts and insecurities and challenges, you too might be able to do the same with the right attitude and dedication. And of course, there's some amount of luck and help from others involved. What I want you to do now is give yourself permission to leave things behind that are not bringing you joy anymore without feeling guilty or regret. And I'll say this again, I know it's easier said than done, but you could at least try. So that's about it for today's video. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, do leave a comment below and tell me what you think. I appreciate you all for sticking around till the end. Until next time.